Hey guys, good morning. This is Diary of a Coach, and here is episode 305. 305 of Diary of a Coach. How are you this morning? It's Friday. TGIF, TGIF, TGIF. It's a Friday for some people, for many people, probably a day to start winding down. Some have even winded down or wound down for the weekend. I am just starting my week because weekends are our peak period. What a weekend. My name is Sam Obafemi. Today's episode is titled Workplace, Toxic Workplaces. Toxic Workplaces. Don't forget, this is our week of possibilities. Yesterday, Mr. Indenyi gave me a testimony of his possibility week. After he has sold out his business model canvas class, people are still asking to pay to join his business model canvas class. They are even lobbying to pay more. Can you imagine? That is possibilities. There's nothing we want to do that we cannot do. Yes, so congratulations, Idenyi Emmanuel Shaibu. I celebrate your consistency and your persistence. Just the same, in the same vein, we sold out our business session that holds this evening at 5 p.m. Our marketing monitoring session with Dr. Victor Ukwere sold out yesterday, 24 hours to the session. I'm so excited. So this morning at Soccer, we're starting our Train the Trainers course for the premarital counseling program. This morning, the Train the Trainers class or the premarital counseling course starts, and it's a weekend long course. So today, tomorrow, and Sunday we're teaching. I'm already feeling like, oh my God, I'm excited at the opportunity to raise a new set of people that can change the dynamics of premarital counseling and the dynamics of how things play out. But my body is saying, Guy, what's up with you? What's up with you? So anyhow, we're going to cope. I'm just going to be taking it a dose at a time to take my coffee, take some snack, get into activity mode. So this weekend is promising to be beautiful and promises to be loaded because we're starting completely new initiative in Soccer. Now, this is another testimony. Yesterday, we started a new service in Soccer called Clinical Services. So yesterday, we expanded our structure and we have started Clinical Services in Soccer. And now we have a head of Clinical Services. So every time we used to have a pre-assessment for mental health, substance use, and any of those behavioral challenges, we normally used to refer them to external people, refer them to psychologists, refer them to clinical psychologists, refer them to psychiatrists, refer them to doctors in some cases, refer them to counselors. Now we have started our in-house clinical services in Soccer. So we now have an in-house resource person who is our head of clinical services. And her name, I won't tell you her name, left in the cooler. So that was another breakthrough for us in Soccer this week. We have expanded our structure. We are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So, peradventure, you have anyone who is dealing with any mental health challenge, or you are dealing with any mental health challenge, Soccer has you covered. So you see, we've gone through mental health first aid courses, and then we've evolved that course, and then now we're starting our clinical services. So it's all good. So it's the week of possibilities, and thank God for that. Today is my dear friend's birthday. Ekundayo Odele, my sister from another mother. Today is your birthday. Woo! Happy birthday, baby girl. I'm so happy to know you. I'm happy to have you in my life. I'm happy that you're just a darling. Always watching my back and telling me, hey, Sam, kilo share, kilo, wa jeka soro. That was, hey, Sam, what's wrong with you? Come, let's talk. Ekundayo can just barge into my life and just start commanding me like no tomorrow. You're just a sweet girl. Happy birthday, darling. And it's an honor to know you. Today's episode is workplace toxicity or toxic workplaces. Toxic workplaces. So I was with one of my proteges yesterday, and she was talking about how her supervisor in the office has molested her in every single way. The only thing her supervisor has not done is to physically assault her. But every other thing, curse, insult, threat, attack, everything, she has done it, both in writing and verbally. She has lied against her. She has manipulated her. She has cursed her. She has insulted her. I'm like, how can? And it reminds me of days when I remember when I was in my employment, I won't mention the place. One guy was hired from Fidelity Bank. The guy stayed with us for probably 3 weeks. Or I don't even know. I think so. Or maybe more than. Because the way time flies. Maybe it was even more than 3 weeks. That guy showed us hellfire. Like he was so annoying. There was nothing you did that was correct. This was a department that everything was going easily, smoothly. Yeah, okay. To his credit, he's a result-driven person. To his credit, he is someone that likes things done to spec. To his credit, he is passionate. To his credit, he's very knowledgeable. To his credit, he's exposed. To his credit, he knows a lot of things, and he could take us to the next level of our departmental goals. But the vehicle to doing it, he was bringing us down, shouting us down, insulting us, threatening. So when she told me yesterday, I could relate with it, because I remember that guy was hunting us into the rat holes, and it is not palatable. It's okay to be driven. It's okay to be, pushful. It's okay to want to get things done. It's okay. But when you have to curse your employees or your subordinates, when you have to insult your employees or your subordinates, when you have to threaten your employees or your subordinates, when you have to, whatever, if you have to get out of respect because you're trying to prove a point or communicate a message, it is wrong. Flat. There is no negotiating it. Completely unacceptable. You do not have the right to curse your employees or your subordinates. You do not have the right to insult them. You do not have the right to is it bring them down or talk them down? Yeah, that's the word. You don't have the right to talk them down. You don't have the right to feel like you own them. You don't own them. You don't curse them. You don't insult them. You don't make them feel terrible. You don't make them feel like they are useless. You don't even assault them. Because in some cases, I do not have evidence, but I want to believe that in some cases, we probably would know or have people who physically assault their employees or their subordinates. It is completely wrong. Research shows that in all our life, we spend 1/3 of our lives in the place we work after school. 1/3 of your life from after school, you likely spend it in the place you work, which means the workplace is a significant part of our lives. So when you will make the workplace terrible for the people that work where they work, you're losing more people. You're losing money. John Maxwell says people leave people. They don't leave organizations. When a person resigns, they've not left the organization. They have left because of a person. Even some of us who left our job voluntarily to go into business, sometimes it is possible that that decision was precipitated and even catalyzed by someone. It was probably accelerated because someone was making life inconvenient for us. And we felt like, you know what? I can go and do this thing by myself now. What kind of wahala is this? A long-time friend of mine came yesterday to see me. She works with one of these power distribution companies. And, she was telling me that, Sam, the things we do as entrepreneurs, we're really doing well. We're actually conforming to global best practices. And she was telling me how she's going through a lot of stress and manipulation and she feels like she has downgraded herself getting that job. One of the significant things she said was the fact that these people in this job they feel insecure around her, they feel threatened around her, and they do things to make her feel that she's doing too much. So when you work in a place where you are not, the belief in you is suspect. People backbite, people blackmail you, people go behind you to hunt you. So it's not sometimes that you're even talking people down. It's sometimes that you are not even allowed to flourish. You are not allowed to thrive. That is also a toxic environment. An environment where your creativity is stifled, where your capacity and professionalism is not appreciated, where you are suspected for every move you make. It can be a toxic place for you. So you need to understand that when you live in a place, you work in a place, it is going to account for 1/3 of your time. Remember, from worst case scenario, most businesses, worst case, resume 9 a.m. in the morning, worst case. And most businesses, worst case, close the earliest 4 p.m. So the latest 9 a.m., the earliest 4 p.m. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is 16 hours. That is 7 hours every working day. And then out of the 5 working days in a week, the known work time is 40 hours according to labor law. But the minimum is 35 hours, assuming it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, if you spend 35 hours every week awake in the office, and then this is exclusive of weekends, then you multiply by the 4 weeks of the month, by the 52 weeks of the year. Do you know what that means? Your whole life is in a workplace. So when someone in that workplace is stressing your life, I don't know what that means to your health. Your mental health is going out of the window. I was telling my protege yesterday, I said, a toxic workplace is downward spiral of mental health. Write it down. A toxic workplace is downward spiral of mental health. If you work in a place where you're not happy, you're not thriving, you're always afraid, you're always wondering what is the next thing that will happen, who is the next thing that will harass me or molest me, what's the next action that will take, will I lose my job today? Job insecurity is toxicity. When you're always afraid of losing your job, just because you're not sure what will happen, that's a toxic place already. Because job insecurity means that your mind is always up. Your blood pressure will keep going up. Queen Rita, when are we discussing this on radio? Sometime next week will be a good day. Any day of the work week next week, I think should be a good day. This weekend is automatically out of it. So, when you are afraid of losing your job, every day you are afraid of losing your job. It's like, who knows whether today now, because yesterday they just told that person to go. When your workplace, you don't have a process of exit, like resignation or retirement. You just come and they say, get out of here, and you're fired. That's a toxic workplace. When they don't give you room to prepare to leave, that's a toxic workplace. When there is indiscriminate deduction from your wage, you do anything they deduct, you do anything they deduct, you do anything they deduct. You are not even sure how much you are taking home in a month. That's a toxic workplace. Because it means that your heart is in your mouth. You are not sure how much your take home is going to be. Problem. So these are toxicities that happen in the workplace. But let me say this to supervisors at work and employers. Woe betide you if you curse your employees. Woe betide you if you assault your employees and your subordinates. Woe betide you if you curse them, insult them, talk them down. Woe betide you if you make them feel worthless, useless, and that they are not good enough. Woe betide you, because guess what? The tables turn around. The unfortunate law of karma is such that everything we dish out, we get in bigger dimensions. That's just the way it is. So it may not happen directly to you, but someone in your generation is going to experience it. That's the unfortunate thing about karma. It's just unfortunate. The seed we sow, we reap. Sow good seed, you reap it in abundance. Sow bad seeds, you reap it in abundance. May God forgive all of us. So toxicity is a terrible thing. It diminishes people's self-esteem. It diminishes people's psyche. People become weak. People become pained. People become non-confident. So we have adults going everywhere who are not confident. We have adults working in places they can't perform because they are not sure whether their performance will be appraised properly, whether it will be appreciated. Promotions are done based on who know who, based on bribery, based on bias. That's toxicity. I can't be promoted based on my competence. I'm only promoted based on if Oga likes my face and likes my figure and likes my breasts or likes my name or likes my the incentives or likes my loyalty. He thinks I'm loyal, then I'm promoted. That's a toxic workplace. It's terrible. Then it says most workplaces in Nigeria is already toxic. Let's not make it worse for our staff and colleagues we see daily. Thank you. That's just the honest truth. So toxicity is terrible. I thank God for my team. They make me want to work, and I hope that I make them also want to work, because toxicity makes it terrible. You're doing everything already to survive, and then to let your workplace make you feel diminished. No. Peace Baba Ali Maugui says, I worked with some bosses who acted like it was their own bank. The day one was sacked, people rejoiced. It was pathetic. Imagine. It's biblical. Bible says, when terrible people are in leadership and they go off, people rejoice. When the wicked is removed, the people rejoice. So toxicity in the workplace is a message we need to take seriously. And please, don't create a toxic workplace. Please, don't create a toxic workplace. Don't permit toxicity in the workplace. If you have a staff who is always harassing other staff, fighting them, lying against them, manipulating their colleagues, make sure you let that staff know that they are wrong. If you have the power, based on your staff handbook, penalize them. If they continue in that path, based on the recommendations in your staff handbook, let them leave. Because the more you keep them, it's like living in yeast. It's like yeast in bread or in any flour. They would transmit that toxicity, and it's going to create terrible place for your work, and your productivity will go down, and then your bottom line will go down, and your profit will be depleted. You don't want that. So please, don't permit toxicity in the workplace. Don't create toxicity in the workplace. Let us develop empowering systems and empowering workplaces. And anybody in our office that is too powerful, that we don't have power over, they are too powerful but they are toxic, may the Lord himself remove them. If they refuse to change, God will by himself will remove them from your path so that you will succeed. Because sometimes God has to remove some people so that you can grow. And if that person has become a principality for evil in that place, God will remove them. And if they are the owner of the business, God will remove you. If they are the toxic people and they own the business, God will remove you from that business so that you will go and flourish somewhere else. My own message is this: if you are not flourishing where you are working, do something about it. That's all. That's the summary of my talk today. If you are not flourishing where you are working, do something about it. Simple. That's the simple message. And that something is you that determines what something is, whether it's to leave or to fix it or whatever it is. God will give you wisdom. Don't tolerate toxic workplaces. This has been Diary of a Coach, episode 305. Now I need to run and attend class. We're starting our Train the Trainer for Premarital Counseling course this morning. It's a weekend-long course. We're building new trainers on how to we're evolving the system of premarital counseling in Nigeria and Africa. So let's just say a prayer for us and wish us well. Thank you so much. Please share this episode. It's very, very important. Share this very episode. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. So Queen Rita, see you next week on radio. And to everyone, if you think that this is something we should talk about in your offices, in your workplace, in your businesses, do good to contact us and we would take it from there. Thank you so much. And before I go, have you pre-ordered Based on Logistics? Because right now, that book is on fire. I think that by mid-March, the book will stop selling at 3,000 because already we're printing. The print comes out within days. And as soon as it comes out, I honestly will stop selling it for 3K. The moment the book comes out from the press, we're already printing. The moment the complete copies are out from the press and I can handle one copy, 3,000 naira stops. It becomes 6,000 naira. So if you have not pre-ordered your copy of Based on Logistics, I think you're doing yourself more harm because you would spend more to get it. The book is on fire and I'm grateful for the loaded content I have put in it. And by the way, if you want to spare 3K to buy for someone that you love, that would be very kind of you. So I think you should. If you've bought one copy, please pre-order one more copy. 3,000 naira will be good. If you bought 2 copies, please pre-order one more copy. If you bought 5 copies, pre-order one more copy. If you bought 10 copies, please pre-order one more copy. One more copy will do well for someone that you know your mind. That name has come to your mind already. I should buy 4. I should buy 4. That name has come to your mind. So send that money, buy one more, and you will be glad you did. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye.